everyone. I hope you are having a great April. Actually, it's almost the end of April. Happy spring. It's 10:03 and I'm going to call the meeting to order. Dawn, you're gonna do the public comments? Oh, roll call first.
Okay, of course.
Can you see if we have a quorum?
Absolutely. Jerry Abrahams.
Here.
Cynthia Butts, I believe was unable to join us today. Alexandra Dahm. Wendy Clark.
I'm here.
Philip DeFranzo.
Here.
Heidi DeWeingart.
Here.
Kylie Goslin.
Here.
Timothy Hodges.
Here.
Catherine McKinnon.
Here.
Commissioner Mascara Bruno.
Here.
Commissioner Perez. Sarah Sanders.
Here.
Lisa Tepper Bates. Greg Ugalde.
Here.
Commissioner Perez. All right, we do have a quorum for the meeting.
Thank you, Dawn. Could you proceed with the process for public comments, please?
Of course. This is the only opportunity on the agenda for the public to provide comments. If you would like to provide a comment, please unmute yourself and state your name. To ensure that everyone has the opportunity, comments will be limited to 3 minutes. Hearing no public comments, the public comment period has now ended. Commissioner, back to you.
Thank you. Nandini, you're going to give us the CEO report?
Yes, thank you. Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. We're getting prepared to launch My Home CT early next week. This is the program that is a federal program funded through ARPA dollars, and it's meant to prevent mortgage and non-mortgage related foreclosures and delinquencies and defaults. It's been a significant undertaking at the authority administering the program on behalf of the Department of Housing. We have been testing the portal for about 2 weeks through an invitation only period for folks who had signed up for updates initially, but we're getting ready to open the floodgates, so to speak. We've been really working on the marketing and outreach efforts because we know how important it is to be to reach the folks that are going to need the funding, and we want to make sure that we do a great job in reaching those people. And so we are initially marketing the program sort of in select markets before we do widespread mass media advertising. We're doing social media, but we're also going to do sort of more traditional word of mouth, as well as connections and other events, working with community organizations, faith-based coalitions, organizations that provide critical services and programs in communities of color. And so we're really focused on that effort as we launch. And I'm really proud to say that, CHFA is coming together in a way that I've never, witnessed before this. And I'm hopeful that everything will proceed according to plan. I'm sure there'll be some hiccups along the way, but, we feel we've done a really good job of preparing. We're going to be holding an info session for our congressional delegation caseworkers, as well as legislative staff on the state level, and other community organizations sometime next week. In terms of some of the other activities, we're working on several fronts. We've got a brand new single family origination report that I am happy to say that was rolled out to mortgage committee this week and received some great feedback from the members. We're showing a year-over-year first quarter increase of almost 50% in terms of our purchase volume, the first-time home buyer loans, which is very positive. Anecdotally, we're receiving feedback that the program changes we have made have really been received well, and it's helping, greater access to our programs, including down payment assistance. There are concerns, obviously, about what the future holds. The committee was concerned about, what the second or third quarter might look like, given, rising rates and impacts on affordability. Programs like the one we're recommending for your approval today, a new down payment assistance program, should have, should be able to mitigate some of the effects, with, the effects of rising rates, and especially in higher priced areas. However, nothing is going to be a panacea in this market. And so we just have to keep sort of monitoring the situation and making adjustments as needed. We're also bringing for your approval this month the 9% competitive round awards. I note that there are 79 people on this Zoom call, so I know it's very well attended by the development community. I just wanted to mention, I want to first thank DOH and the commissioner for, all the work we do. It's a few months of really concerted effort. It's more than a few months because there's a long sort of period that comes before that, preparing, educating, working together, and it's always a slog. It's a marathon finish, but I'm happy to report that it's the first time we have a 2-year QAP. It's our first year with the preservation set aside, and we've added some significant sustainability measures this year, which have been really well received. We work together with the Green Bank and other partners in that industry to try to formulate what best practices would look like for building an affordable housing development in the future. I'm happy to say that all 6 new construction developments that are recommended for your award today committed to the sustainability measures and included the highest levels of green building design. And 4 out of the 6 also achieved the highest levels of energy conservation measures. So that's a really good result. And it's also the first year we've adopted the Connecticut opportunity map, which, as you might recall, was something that the Department of Housing was had already adopted. And in working with them, we were able to, agree to a map that we could both use in alignment with our programs. Finally, the retreat prep is in progress. I hope you're all excited about it. We have a full day planned. The first part of the day is going to, be essentially an overview session. We want to keep that part of it, fairly short, given that there are a lot more discussion things that we want to bring, forward for you. We will have a housing needs assessment as well as a state of Connecticut housing update, as well as a housing market update, followed by some unstructured time that the board members who helped us formulate the agenda were very keen to see ideas come forth that could be actionable in the future. So we've come up with a few ideas that we think will lead to some spirited discussions with you, and we hope, the retreat will be, something we can all walk away with, having, gained some ideas and set, interesting sort of feedback about how we can proceed to build more affordable housing in the future. So happy to take any questions if you have any. Otherwise, I'll hand it back to the Commissioner.
Any comments or questions for Nandini? Okay, well, you did a great job. Thank you, Nandini. So I know that it is an exciting meeting for the developers. Good luck to those that, and congratulations to those that will be recommended to the board. I know it is exciting and also sometimes very nervous to see if your project got approved. With that, the next item on our agenda is the report of our 2021 audits, and Ronald Nosek is going to present a summary of the audits. Ron?
Hello, nice to see you again, and I'll be quite brief here. I'm basically going to go over the reporting results, the slide deck that we do have. By all means, spend some time with it. If you have any questions relative to what's in there and want to reach out to us, I'd be more than happy to take the call. We did go through this in far greater detail at the 9 o'clock meeting with the audit committee. So for the purposes of the entire board, I'm just really going to go over the reporting results, which are the culmination, if you will, of all of our audit procedures, and draw together our conclusion in order to place our opinion on the financial statements. So relative to the financial statements, we have issued an unmodified opinion, or a clean audit opinion, that is presented on pages 1 and 2 of the bound document, or electronic if you're looking at it via PDF. So basically that opinion states that in our opinion, the financial statements fairly represent the financial position and results of operations of the authority for the year ended 12/31/2021. In accordance with governmental standards, we are also required to issue a report relative to the internal control and compliance that surround financial reporting of the authority. And in that report, we're required to present to you any findings relative to internal controls that we consider to be material weaknesses or significant deficiencies over the internal controls in relative to financial reporting. So what takes place in order to get to the financial statement level, if you will. And then relative to compliance, if there are any compliance matters that the authority is exposed to, that in our opinion, a violation of that compliance requirement would be deemed material to the financial statements, we would be required to report that to you. So in the case of the governmental accounting standards report, often referred to as the Yellow Book report, there were no internal control findings that we needed to present relative to financial reporting, and there were no violations of compliance that were noted during the performance of our procedures. And then finally, we also report on federal single audit and state single audit, and that's somewhat similar to the governmental accounting standards report, in that it relates to internal controls and compliance, but in this case, it's a very narrow focus. It's only on the major federal programs in the case of the federal single audit, and the major state programs in the case of the state single audit. So under the federal single audit, there were 2 programs that were required to be tested, the Emergency Rental Assistance Program and the Homeowners Assistance Fund Program. Those are both COVID funding grants. So relative to the performance of those grants, again, there were no internal control matters that we deemed to be material weaknesses or significant deficiencies, and there were no violations of compliance relative to those grants. And then finally, under state single audit, same results. There were no internal control matters that needed to be reported. there were no violations of compliance relative to those major state programs. And there were 5 programs actually that got captured under the state single audit in this audit cycle: pre-development and critical needs, state portfolio preservation, Community Investment Act, emergency mortgage assistance program, and assisted living demonstration project. So in all cases, no internal control matters that reached the level of significant deficiency or material weaknesses, no compliance findings, and most importantly, as I said up front, an unmodified opinion on the financial statements. So that was all I was going to go through with the full board here today. If you have any questions, I'm more than happy to take them, and I would be remiss if I didn't say that I think you're all aware that this is our last cycle, CLA, formerly Bloom Shapiro, with CHFA. It's been an enjoyable experience, a great professional relationship, and we wish you the very best moving forward.
Thank you, Ron. Any questions? Greg?
Ron, quick question for you. So
Sure.
do we go on the offense at all? Like after we have a retreat, for example, are we reviewing our actions, anything that we plan to take in the future with the audit committee at times, so that we know, especially when it comes to the internal controls, as things grow and we expand, it might be worth taking a look rather than wait until the formal audit takes place, if we can update that as we go by having the audit committee involved?
I think management can address that probably more articulately than I can, but I do know, we attend a couple of the audit committee meetings relative to during the fiscal year, but they're really relative to the audit process. So we go through we have a pre or planning meeting with them, and then today we had the follow-up meeting relative to audit results. And I would just say from my own experience, it's an active and thoughtful committee. So I would also reflect, after 6 years of dealing with the organization, the internal control structure relative to the authority is solid and robust. But I do know that they're evaluating this on a regular and ongoing basis, and I think part of that process takes place with your internal audit group as well. The mere fact that you have an internal audit group should give you some level of comfort that someone is looking at best practices and internal controls on a regular and recurring manner.
Greg, do you have another question or not? Okay, Azim? No.
Madam Chair, I have a follow-up on that.
Sure, go ahead.
I just want to assure Greg that the auditors, whether it was the current auditors or the prior auditors, because I've been in the board for a little while, always make themselves available for any member of the audit committee, and for that matter, the board meeting of the board, to be able to contact them directly if you had a concern. I mean, even though normally we will contact our own internal auditors, but there has been in the past, and Ron can say that because I was one of the people who had a conversation with him around an issue that had happened in CHFA in the past, and we wanted him to do extra steps, and then we brought it to the full committee, and the committee knew I was having that conversation with him, and it seemed new, so it's nothing behind the scenes, and it had to do with some stuff that happened, and we took the right, disciplinary steps, but we wanted the auditors to take additional steps, and they did. And again, that's not only true for the current auditors, but it's always been true for even the prior auditors.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any other questions? Okay, I have to congratulate the staff. As Commissioner Perez mentioned, there were some issues in the past, and they really had the changes that have been made. Strengthening the internal controls has really made a difference. Is a clean audit. So congratulations to Hazim and to Nandini for the great work that you guys are doing, and just keep it up. That's the most important thing.
Madam Chair, if you could clarify
Yes.
something. I mean, I don't want anything that I say to be taken that there was an issue with the audit in the past, because there was no issues with the audit.
No.
I've been in this board, all the audits have been clean and qualified. So there was an issue that we wanted the auditors to do additional work around internal controls, you know, when we had an employee, you know, the inspections, that kind of stuff, if you remember.
Yeah,
And
No,
what
I'm
I wanted to
referring to
show
that.
Greg is, as board members, we have the ability to talk to the auditors.
Thank you
Yeah.
for
Okay.
clarification.
Yeah, no problem.
Moving on, we have the resolution regarding the reservation of the 9% low-income housing tax credits. And Masura is going to have the honor to do that, to present that resolution.
Good morning, Madam Chairs and members of the board. I am pleased to present the recommendations for the 2022 9% competitive round for your consideration. The board is being asked to approve 8 resolutions to allocate approximately $11,088,932 from the 2022 9% credit ceiling, and then forward reserve $49,657 from the 2023 9% credit ceiling, for a total allocation of $11,138,589. Due to the shortage of affordable housing in the state, by forward reserving a portion of next year's allocation will allow CHFA to maximize the efficiency of federal and state resources to deliver more units at a time of great need. The developments that are being awarded will add 461 units, of which 383 will be affordable and 78 will be market rate. For this year's round, CHFA received 15 applications seeking approximately $21 million and 9% annual tax credits. The estimated DOH subsidy to support these developments is $29 million. We continue to see strong demand for the program, and we're oversubscribed by a ratio of approximately 2 to 1. If you recall, we rolled out a 2-year QAP, and in the interest of time, I'm not going to go over it. I know Nandini touched on some of the highlights, but more detail is covered in your package. The highest scoring application that's being recommended for an award is 81 points. And the lowest application receiving an award is 66 points. 4 of the awardees are in areas of opportunity ranging from high to moderate. This is based on the new opportunity mapping that was rolled out as part of the round. Of the 15 applications submitted, 2 were eliminated due to lack of credible financing. Our staff met with each applicant. We were able to deliver feedback to each of those applicants. Of the 8 awardees, 6 are under the new construction classification, and 2 are under the preservation classification. The applications that competed in the preservation classification were ranked using the preservation priorities that were outlined in the QAP, and this included such as the scope of rehab, as well as developments that were located in an area where less than 10% affordable housing, developments that were identified rehab by the state or municipality, developments that were seeking resyndication or at risk of losing affordability, developments that were seeking the greatest number of sustainability design measures, and then the applicants demonstrated track record and experience. So I also want to take a moment to recognize the commissioner, her staff, the team in multifamily, as well as CHFA staff that helped us make this round a successful process again. In summary, staff recommends adopting resolutions for the following developments. So starting with the new construction classification, allocation of $1,396,849 from the 2022 or 2023 credit ceiling to Oakwood Apartments in Plymouth. Allocation of $783,154 from the 2022 or 2023 credit ceiling to Cedar Point 2 in Newington. Allocation of $1,380,000 from the 2022 or 2023 credit ceiling to Village at Park River Phase 5 in Hartford. allocation of $560,494 from the 2022 or 2023 credit ceiling to Wellington at Madison and Madison. Allocation of $1,860,029 from the 2022 or 2023 credit ceiling to Crescent Crossings Phase 1C in Bridgeport. Allocation of $1,800,002 from the 2022 or 2023 credit ceiling to State and Chapel in New Haven. Moving on to the preservation classification, staff is recommending allocation of $1,483,223 from the 2022 or 2023 credit ceiling to Veterans Terrace 2 in East Hartford. Allocation of $1,874,838 from the 2022 or 2023 credit ceiling to West Hartford Fellowship Housing Redevelopment Phase 1 in West Hartford. So with that said, staff is available to answer any questions you have as you consider these recommendations.
Thank you, Masuda. Any questions for the resolution presented by Masuda?
Masood, I have one question. I know that's part of the QAP. We look at the units created for our credit dollars that we're allocating, but in general, how are we looking at the overall? And I know you're picking amongst the applications, and that's factored in making that allocation any given year. But how are we looking at the general trend of how far our credit's going with respect to actual units of housing created?
Yeah, we do track production. So in the 9% tax credit program, because we do receive a limited allocation of tax credits, so those trends has gone down slightly. However, that is supplemented by the 4% tax credit program that continues to be used as a tool to preserve existing units. And as we discussed in the board retreat, we're also looking at ways to be able to increase new production.
I was muted. Commissioner Perez, is your hand up or that was from before?
That was before. Let me take it down. Sorry.
Thank you. Any other questions? Okay, here. Can I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve?
Yes. Thank you. I can have a second.
I'll second.
Any other question? Hearing none, Don, could you please do the roll call?
Of course. Jerry Abrahams.
Aye.
Alexandra Dahm. Wendy Clark.
That was a
Sorry,
yes.
Oh, thank you. Alexandra, I'm sorry to go back. I think you said yes, but I just want to make sure I heard you correctly.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I said approve, yes, whatever you
you.
want me to say.
All right, thank you. Philip DeFranzo.
Yes.
Heidi DeWeingart.
Aye.
Kylie Goslin.
Yes.
Timothy Hodges.
Aye.
Catherine McKinnon.
Aye.
Commissioner Mascara Bruno.
Yes.
Commissioner Perez.
Yes.
Sarah Sanders.
Aye.
Lisa Tepper Bates. Greg Ugalde.
Yes.
Excellent. The motion passes.
Thank you, Don. And congratulations to all those developers that their projects were approved. We wanted to make sure that those projects can move ahead quicker rather than later. Closing within 3 to 6 months, we'll have a price. Moving on, we have the mortgage committee. We have several action items that we have to take actions. And the first one is the resolution to adopt the amendment to the Connecticut Housing Finance Authority procedures. And Lisa Henley, you're going to present that.
My apologies. Good morning, everyone. At the February 24th Board of Directors meeting, the Single Family Homeownership Department proposed that the board adopt certain amendments to CHFA single family procedures to increase opportunities for first-time home buyers. The public comment period was noticed and in effect for a minimum of 30 days. The comment period ended on April 8th, 2022, and no comments were received by mail or email. The Single Family Homeownership Department recommends adoption of the proposed amendments as set forth in the attached red line. I'm happy to answer any questions and or review the changes to refresh your memory since so much time has passed, if you'd like me to do that.
Thank you, Lisa. Can I have a motion to approve the resolution?
So moved. It's Heidi.
Thank you. Have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Greg. Questions or comment for Lisa? Okay, Dawn, could you do the roll call, please?
Jerry Abrahams,
Aye.
Alexander Dom, Wendy Clark,
Yes.
Philip DeFranza,
Yes.
Heidi DeWeingart,
Aye.
Kylie Gosselin,
Aye.
Timothy Hodges,
Aye.
Catherine McKinnon,
Aye.
Commissioner Mascara Bruno,
Yes.
Commissioner Perez,
Yes.
Sarah Sanders,
Aye.
Lisa Tepper Bates, Greg Ugalde.
Yes.
The vote passes unanimously.
Thank you, Dawn. Motion carries. Lisa, you have the second resolution for the, to talk about the assistance of the time to own down payment assistance loan program.
Yes. At its December 2021 meeting, the State Bond Commission allocated $20 million to the Housing Trust Fund for the Department of Housing to create a first-time homebuyer assistance program. The Department of Housing has partnered with CHFA to design the program, which will be named Time to Own, following the parameters set forth in the State Bond Commission authorization. The program will provide assistance of up to 25% of the purchase price of the home, up to $50,000. The loan will be a non-amortizing 0% loan that will be forgiven incrementally over a 10-year period of time. The time to own loan will be used in conjunction with the CHFA first mortgage, which the home buyers must qualify for. The home buyers may also take advantage of CHFA's DAP. To create greater purchasing power in higher resourced areas, a home buyer purchasing a home in a very high or high census tract per the state of Connecticut opportunity map is eligible for up to $50,000. And for any other property, the maximum is $25,000. The Department of Housing has requested that CHFA administer this program, and CHFA plans to launch the program in the current quarter, subject to the funding and infrastructure being in place. Any questions?
Thank you, Lisa. Can I have a motion to approve the resolution?
I'll move.
Have a second?
I'll second.
Any questions for Lisa?
Yeah, Lisa, what, the administrative costs, who are we getting that also from DOH?
Not that I'm aware of. Go ahead, Anthony.
So, we're not going to take an administrative fee. Thank you for unmuting, which is sort of traditional in how we've done these things in the past. What's going to happen instead is, because it's going to be paired with the CHFA first, there's going to be, a bond financing that happens in conjunction with the first and the second or the third. And then, there's basically interest rate spread between the bond cost and the mortgage rate. And that's how CHFA keeps its doors open. So that's essentially the answer.
I had a question about how this fills the gap, because it feels like the gap between the targeted incomes and the price of houses is still greater than what we're going to be able to fix with this. So I was just wondering what that sort of analysis was.
That was that was before me. So I don't know how to answer that.
Yeah, because it seems like in
Analysis for the
order to
50,000.
get, right, in order to get the whole 50,000, you have to purchase in a high opportunity area and have income less than 50% of the area median income, right?
No,
But no.
no. Income is up to 100% of the area median income.
Okay.
And in high opportunity areas, you know, Kathy, in the cities, there are also down payment assistance programs. They can actually use those too. In the high opportunity areas, usually there are not any assistance. So that's why the two comparison, how much. They can also pair up with the down payment assistance of CHFA. So if you think about it, a person can get up to probably 75,000. Because we're not putting any restrictions on not using any other program that is available.
Okay.
And just so you know, we did run some numbers before using the 50,000 and the maximum income, and we with partnered with our DAP program. There were several properties in the high opportunity areas that that borrower, had they actually existed, would qualify for. So we did do some of that as well. Obviously, they're not going to be able to purchase the highest price properties, but there are properties in those areas that were available.
Thank you. Any other questions? Don, would you please do the roll call? Thank you.
Jerry Abrahams.
Aye.
Alexandra Dahm.
Aye.
Wendy Clark.
Yes.
Philip DeFranzo.
Yes.
Heidi DeWeingart.
Aye.
Kylie Gosselin.
Yes.
Timothy Hodges.
Aye.
Catherine McKinnon.
Aye.
Commissioner Mascaro Bruno.
Yes.
Commissioner Perez.
Yes.
Sarah Sanders.
Aye.
Lisa Tepper Bates. Greg Ugalde.
Aye.
Vote passes unanimously, Commissioner.
Motion carries. Thank you, Don. The next three resolutions are going to be presented by Masuda. Masuda, could you please start with the first one for Antillion Manor?
Thank you, Madam Chair. The board is being asked to approve a first mortgage construction loan using tax-exempt bond proceeds for up to 2.1 million, term of 24 months, at a rate not to exceed 5.66%, interest only during construction, and a first mortgage loan for approximately 9.5 million at a rate not to exceed 5.3% over a term of 40 years to Antillion States LLC, an affiliate of Carabetta Incorporated. The financing involved the demolition in new construction of a 31-unit apartment building that was owned by a co-op and has since been dissolved. The 31 residents have been temporarily relocated and will have the option to return when the new building is completed. At initial close, HUD will also provide a 20-year Section 8 HAP. The development will be serving households earning 25% and 50% of area median income in New Haven. The vote in Mortgage Committee was unanimous, and I would welcome Mortgage Committee if they have any questions or comments they want to share as you consider this resolution.
Can I have a motion to approve the resolution presented by Masuda?
So moved. It's Heidi.
Thank you. Have a second.
Second.
Any questions? Thank you, Greg.
So I would just comment that during Mortgage Committee, we had a discussion that Kylie prompted about the repayment of any potential equity to the co-op owners, because this is an unusual structure for this kind of development. And so maybe you could just, Masuda, talk a little bit about that discussion.
Sure. Thanks, Wendy. So yeah, the discussion was, since this is a co-op that was dissolved. The co-op defaulted on their loan that they had with HUD. And so as part of converting this development into rental housing, again, the residents will have the option to return. The residents are also receiving a one-time equity payout ranging anywhere from $5,000 up to $6,500. HUD has also agreed to forgive the HUD mortgage that was on this property in order for this development to move through and also create new housing units for the residents. And so that was the discussion that we had. I don't know if there's anything else that others want to add.
Thank you, Masura. Any other comments or question?
Are they demolishing the existing building?
Yes, the existing building will be demolished and it will be replaced by a new construction.
I have to say, as a developer who's always struggling with costs, the $571,000 per unit was pretty startling. And I'm wondering where costs are going in general. That's what we're going to be seeing going forward.
Masura?
Yes, this development does have a higher than usual total development cost that we see per unit cost. However, about 3.2 million or approximately 102,000 is just due to extraordinary line items. We have outlined that in the package for you. We did have a third-party cost reviewer review the numbers. And once you make these one-time adjustments, the costs are in line with what we typically see in multifamily deals.
I understand that, Kathy, as a developer myself in my previous life, and the staff did do some due diligence in the demolition and abatement of hazard materials really increased the cost, as well as the imposed of the historical preservation, although the property, I couldn't call it historical, but that's a discussion for another day. So increased and they couldn't go after historical tax credit because it wasn't a historical property.
Just as a comparison, I was on a call last week with some colleagues, and in Boston, some of the affordable housing is exceeding 700,000 a unit. So,
wow, we're not there yet.
It's eye-popping.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? Don, could you please do the roll call?
Of course. Jerry Abrahams.
Aye.
Alexandra Dahm.
Did you hear me? Sorry, aye.
Thank you. Wendy Clark.
Yes.
Philip DeFranzo.
Yes.
Heidi DeWeingart.
Aye.
Kylie Goslin.
Yes.
Timothy Hodges.
Aye.
Catherine McKinnon.
Aye.
Commissioner Mascaro Bruno.
Yes.
Commissioner Perez.
Yes.
Sarah Sanders.
Aye.
Lisa Tepper Bates. Greg Ugalde.
Yes.
The vote passes unanimously.
Motion carries. Masura, could you go ahead with the second resolution?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. The board is being asked to approve a construction loan using tax-exempt bond proceeds for up to 7.6 million, interest only at a rate of 5.25%, term of 24 months, and a permanent loan of up to 4.5 million at a rate of 5.15%, interest only for up to 24 months before converting to a fully amortizing mortgage with a term of 40 years to Avery Park 2 Limited Partnership. This proposed financing is for the new construction of 79 units to replace the current Avery Park elderly housing that was developed over 40 years ago and is in substandard condition. The development will serve elderly and disabled individuals. 45 of the units will benefit from the state rental subsidy that will be provided by DOH. The vote in mortgage committee was unanimous, and we have staff available to answer any questions as you consider this resolution.
Thank you, Masuda. Can I have a motion to approve the resolution?
So moved.
Thank you, Greg. Can I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Kathy. Comments or questions? Hearing none, Don, could you do the roll call, please?
Jerry Abrahams.
Aye.
Alexandra Dahm.
Aye.
Wendy Clark.
Yes.
Philip DeFranzo.
Yes.
Heidi DeWeingart.
Aye.
Kylie Goslin.
Yes.
Timothy Hodges.
Aye.
Catherine McKinnon.
Aye.
Commissioner Mascaro Bruno.
Yes.
Commissioner Perez. Sarah Sanders.
Aye.
Lisa Tepper Bates. Greg Ugalde.
Yes.
Commissioner Perez. All right, the vote passes unanimously.
Motion carries. Thank you, Don. Masuda, the last resolution.
Yes, thanks, Madam Chair. The board is being asked to authorize the CEO, Executive Director, to extend the term of the state-sponsored housing portfolio MOA with DOH for an additional 3 years from July 1st, 2022 to June 30th, 2025. This MOA has been in place since 2013 when the state of Connecticut announced a $300 million commitment for the rehab of the SSHP program. This partnership with DOH and CHFA has benefited 200 properties and over 10,000 units by addressing capital improvements and delivering technical assistance to the owners. Staff is available to answer any questions as you consider the resolution. The vote in Mortgage Committee was unanimous.
May I have a motion to approve the resolution?
So moved.
Thank you, Kathy. Can I have a second? Thank you. Comments or questions? Don, could you please roll call?
Jerry Abrahams.
And the lawyers are more power than helping.
Sorry, I'll start again. Jerry Abrahams.
Aye.
Alexandra Dahm. Wendy Clark. Yes, thank you. Wendy Clark. Wendy, I think you might be muted.
Yes.
Thank you. Philip DeFranzo.
Yes.
Thank you. Heidi DeWeingart.
Aye.
Kylie Goslin.
Yes.
Timothy Hodges.
Aye.
Catherine McKinnon.
Aye.
Commissioner Mascaro Bruno.
Yes.
Commissioner Perez.
Yes.
Sarah Sanders.
Aye.
Lisa Tepper Bates. Greg Ugalde.
Yes.
Vote passes unanimously.
Motion carries. Thank you, Mortgage Committee. You guys were pretty busy this month. Our last item on the agenda is the consent agenda. Can I have a motion to approve the consent agenda, please?
So moved.
Have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Questions? Comments? Hearing none. Dawn, could you do the roll call again, please?
Jerry Abrahams.
Aye.
Alexandra Dahm.
Aye.
Thank you. Wendy Clark.
Yes.
Philip DeFranzo.
Yes.
Heidi DeWeingart.
Aye.
Kylie Goslin.
Yes.
Timothy Hodges.
It's just a shame that a couple of lawyers.
Catherine McKinnon.
Get a power.
Aye.
Commissioner Mascaro Bruno.
Yes.
Commissioner Perez.
Yes.
Sarah Sanders.
Aye.
Lisa Tepper Bates. Gregory, you called me.
Yes.
Thank you. The vote is unanimous.
Thank you, Don. Motion carries. Before we adjourn, anybody has any comments or questions or want to bring anything to the board that we can consider?
Any developments about in-person meetings, Commissioner?
When they didn't hear the whole question, I heard you half.
Has there been any developments or more talks about in-person meetings going forward? Like, are there folks sitting in the boardroom today or
Yes.
folks are
So
generally? Oh,
we
great.
have a hybrid, if you will. We can join the meeting in person or choose to do it through Zoom.
Great, thanks.
You're welcome. Any other comments or questions?
Is there anything that we need to prepare for the board retreat, or will something come out that we'll have to?
So we were just talking with me and Denise. So please make sure the board retreat is May 18th. She's going to send the agenda ahead of time. And if you have any questions or comments, please let her know. Probably they should expect it within a week
Or less.
or less. Yeah, shortly you will receive the agenda for the retreat. Any other question? Well, hearing none, can you raise your hand for a motion to, actually I need a motion to the meeting. Thank you, Greg. Can I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor to adjourn the meeting.
Aye.
All right.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much.